Hi, I'm Shayanti, the artist behind Shayanti Fine Arts. But today, Arya is sharing the artist seat.
Hi, I'm Arya. I am working on a school project on black holes, and we thought it would be really cool to do a painting project on black holes together.
And this is Arya's first acrylic painting, so it is a little less from being perfect. I hope you will excuse that.
I started off with a quick drawing of a few concentric circles, just like a funnel or a well would look from a top side angle, and just being sketchy about it. And then I painted, or rather all of this was done by Arya so far. So then Arya started to paint these concentric circles in a swishing circular motion, trying to keep within the lines, following the concentric circular lines, and trying to paint like we would paint the inside of a well or a funnel. And I'm using a gray color, which is white tinted with a little bit of blue and black. And then I started my coloring process. So you can see that I'm following the lines and I'm applying different shades of blue. A little bit later you will see that I will add in a little bit of red slowly and make that blue purple. So the blue is slowly fading into purple, and the purple will then fade into crimson, and then the crimson will fade into red and orange finally, and very edges I will make it black. So that's the whole general idea. Arya had to go over several times on each area to get a little bit of smoothness. Obviously he is trying acrylic paints for the first time, so the blending isn't perfect, but if you paint layer over layer over layer, at least you block out the entire areas, and that itself renders a lot of smoothness. Now is the time when I take over, and you can see I'm making the edges a lot red, and then at the very edges I will go on first with brown, and then the next layer I will go with black at the very corners. In between the different reds and blues, in each layer of color or each segment of color in between, I'm adding a little bit lighter shade of the same color and trying to fade it out between the lights and darks. And in between each of the colors, like between blue and purple, I'm trying to make the transition as smooth as possible, but it does not need to be perfectly smooth, because we are trying to give the appearance of swirling concentric circles. So if it is not 100% smooth, it will work out. And one of the things that I found important for this black hole painting is that swirly motion, going back and forth and keeping your brush at an angle and making your motions or the direction or the sweeps in an angle. If you go straight up and down, top and bottom, it will probably not look right. It's the angular motion or the angular brush strokes that is giving the impression of the swirling clouds or swirling, whatever you want to call it, that is giving that circular motion kind of feel, and that I thought what is very important for this painting. In the very center I'm adding a very dark color, which is actually brown, but it has kind of black and blue, a lot of it in it, so it looks black, but it is not black. And then I took a little bit of the black and tried to kind of create striations to mix that out in the surrounding areas, once again trying to create the same swirly look so that it feels like this clouds or the circle is swirling inwards, which is the whole concept of the black hole. Nobody knows what a black hole looks like, but the idea is that it will suck up everything in a circular swirling motion. So that is the thought we went with, and then we had galaxy in our mind, so obviously we used the colors that you would generally see in galaxy painting. And that's how we brought everything together. I'm still working from the center outwards, and slowly I'm darkening and softening edges, darkening some of the colors, lightening some of the colors, and because I'm adding layer on top of layer on top of layer, with every layer that I'm adding, the roughness of the layers underneath is kind of getting smoothed out, and it ends up in the even blending. So I think this painting is a good will give you a good understanding of acrylic blending if you're working it the first time. When you saw Arya was painting, it was very hard for him to understand the concepts of blending, because either he was using too much water or too little water, or he did not have enough paint on the brush, or he was not putting enough layers on top of layers, and he was not working very quickly. So why I'm talking about all of this is to mention that each and every point is important. Firstly, acrylic dries fast, so you have to work a little bit quickly. Secondly, layering is very important to get a good blend. One single layer of acrylics typically does not give you a smooth blend if you are transitioning one color into the other. You will have to have multiple coats, and with each coat of color, with each glaze of color, it will get smoother and smoother, and you have to keep on doing the coats of color or the glazes till you get the amount of smoothness that you're looking for. Now at the very end, I'll come back with a stiff round brush and a little bit of gray paint on it, the same gray that I started with, and creating some dabs. You can say, very technical term, I know, but that is what I'm doing here, creating some dabs, kind of giving a feel of clouds, if I may, and accentuating that circular swishing inwards feeling to some extent. Then I dabbed some darker paint to the center of the black hole as well, and came around the gray swirly clouds with a little darker color to make them more prominent. As usual, I'm focusing on contrast to make the painting pop. And at the very end, you will see that I am spraying a little bit of stars with white paints on the darker areas of the painting, darker colors of the painting. And with that is very much it to this painting. I hope you love this joint venture as much as we enjoyed doing it, and we'll give it a try. Let me know in our thoughts what you thought about this beginner painting lesson, and including Arya in my project. Thank you.